Hello and welcome everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the three huge mistakes that self-taught AI developers like myself make and how to save you tons of AI credits no matter what you're going to be using. If you're using Replit, if you're using Lovable, if you're going to be using Data Button, it doesn't really matter. These are the principles how to start saving tons of time and money and avoid these mistakes. And if you want to get all of this information that we go over for free, there's a link down below to check out all of the different information that we go through in the guide down below that is free. So we're going to get into it, talk about how we can do this step by step. And if you're watching this on replay, do hashtag replay. If you're watching live, just let me know hashtag live. Okay, so let's go through the three different principles, and then we're going to be breaking this down, and then I'm going to be building an application using Data Button, as you're seeing, and we're going to continue. So what are the three biggest mistakes that people are making? Number one, you're not creating the prompt properly, i.e., you're not creating the prompt correctly, so you're not creating the setup correctly. So where it says cleaning, we're just going to say planning instead, right? So what do we mean by this? Well, a lot of times people will go into Data Button or Lovable and they'll just say, I want to build this huge application. And because you're giving the IDE, the AI agent for this, is you're giving it too much information, you're causing a lot of disaster even before you start. So when we're talking about right here, creating a prompt for ChatGPT or any platform, we're talking about making sure that you're outlining what your application will do at a basic level. So here I can be talking about, hey, I'm going to be creating an MVP. This is what it's going to look like. Here are the details. That's the first thing. Now that's going to save you time if you do it with Claude, if you do it with ChatGPT, whatever, because now when you're going to be using Replit, it's going to save you tons of credits when you're prompting this. Now, the thing with if you use something like Replit, you can use the button improve prompt. But if you do this first step, this is going to help you with the planning stage and being more successful. After you have the prompt, then this goes into number two. And shout out to Dan Perry. We did an episode with him a few weeks ago, creating a product requirement doc, right? So when you're creating a product requirement doc, that's a PRD if you've never heard of it. That allows you to understand at a deeper level of what your product will look like, right? So now it's more organized, an overview of your application, the goals and objectives, user storyline, so how they're going to navigate through the application, the core features and requirements. Also, you're going to be seeing what kind of technology you're going to be using, all the basics that you're going to need for your application. If you plan this out and you ask Claude or if you ask ChatGPT to do that, now you're again saving so many credits when you go to Lovable or Replit or whatever you want. And then you're going to copy your PRD into Replit or whatever IED of choice. I'm going to say, or any IDE of choice. I'm going to say Bolt, Data Button, Lovable, etc. Right? So the question is, how many people have been doing this already? How many have been using this step? What we've noticed is a lot of people will just go into Replit and they just start firing off all these questions, and then they're spending tons of credits simply because they're not doing these three steps. So let me know in the comment section, is this helpful? Have you first created a prompt and an overview of the MVP? How many of you have then created a product requirement document and then copy that product requirement document into one of your platforms, Data Button, Lovable, Replit, etc., Bolt? Now, some might say, wait a minute, Doc, depending on what platform I'm using, sometimes there are a limit of how much I can say in the chat bot or in the chat box before I can generate my app. Great question. If you're using something like Data Button, there's going to be a restriction. You're going to first go to your first section where you're going to have an overview of your of your application in ChatGPT or in Claude and put that in. So it'll be shorter. And then you can use the product requirement document as you're going through this. So some might say, Doc, like you're saying a lot of things, just show us an example. Okay, so we're going to go through Data Button and show you the process of what we did and how we would do this. And then from there, we're going to keep building one of the applications I'm working on right now in Data Button. We're going to be adding Stripe and all of these other things to it. So let's do that. Okay. So first of all, let's take a look at, let's go to ChatGPT. And first I'm going to talk to it and I'm going to be using Whisper. I'm creating a new MVP application. The application is to be able to be a paid directory that will have side hustle ideas, but also different SOPs or documentation for people to learn how to learn a new side hustle or skill for an online business. All right, so I have this basics right here. Now what I'm going to say is create a prompt that I can use for an AI agent or an IDE for my MVP. So what I did right there was I first explained creating a new MVP application, what the MVP is here. And then you might be saying like, well, maybe I'm just not good at creating MVPs. Like, what would I actually say to it? Well, now I'm telling ChatGPT to create a prompt that I can now feed it to my AI agent. So right here, it's saying, here's a prompt you can use to guide an AI agent or an integrated development environment for building your MVP app. Prompt: building a paid directory application for side hustles and online business SOPs. Develop an MVP for a paid directory. And you see how it's giving me features, SOPs, user access, personalization. And now it's done all the hard work for me. So again, I can first take the objective and I can, if I have a limited characters to build my application, I could do that. Or I can use this whole prompt right here. All right. Copy it. And then I can put it into Replit. I can put it into Lovable, whatever I want to do, right? So again, I can go with first objective. If that's, if I have more space, I can add my whole prompt right here. Let's see if I can drop the whole prompt in Data Button. Okay, see, I don't have enough. So here's the prompt. I can then make it shorter, and I just have enough for the prompt here. Then I can add more systematically based on what I have in chat, what I need, and I can go one step at a time to add into my AI agent. On the same token right here, I can take this, copy it, and let's put it into Lovable. See if it adds. Okay, cool. So Lovable has it right here. I'm going to create it. And now it's going to be using this as a guiding principle right here, right? So I just went through step one of it, right? Creating a prompt. Then I can create a product requirement, a PRD. And with Lovable, it's better if we're adding a little bit at a time that we've noticed in the past. But if you want to try out the PRD first, see how far you get, and then add on, you can do that as well. Let me know in the chat if this makes sense, if you have questions, and we can see right here, now it's building my hustle guidebook right here, creating my layout. That's great. Now I might go back here. Now what I can do is use this prompt. Can you turn it into a product requirement document and have directions on basic designs and what a modern app looks like, right? So I can add this and put that in. And if you're liking what we're talking about here, we have a guide that goes step by step of everything that I'm talking about right here, everything that I'm using and talking about. It's in the free guide. We're just using it. We're using it right now in live. Okay. All right. So right here, look at this. Launch your side hustle with professional SOPs. Access detailed guides and step-by-step procedures for proven online businesses. Start earning extra money today. And then so right here we have it, featured side hustle. You can browse the directory and then go from here. And then SOP 1, which is interesting. So now we would just build the individual pages for that, right? So really cool. View prices. Prices aren't there yet. But again, really cool. And then side hustle SOPs. So let me know if that makes sense to you. But this is what we would be looking at. Okay. I actually like the name and everything like that. So I'm going to screenshot it. Okay. Let me know. So again, if we're going to be doing this, the three biggest mistakes that we see that can save you tons of AI credits. If you do this with Claude or ChatGPT, whatever you're doing, using it for free, if you do step one, creating a prompt, which is the planning out process, creating a product requirement document, and then copying the product requirement document into Replit or whatever ID you're using, this can save you tons of credits as you're building out. Now, let's continue to build, and we're going to be using Data Button as we're going on this idea. And we're going to try launching it, seeing how far we get tonight. Um, we've been talking about the process of using Data Button. And if you're interested and you want to try it out, it's one of my favorite platforms. Not only it's very user friendly, but also what I like about it is the customer service is amazing. Love it, love it, love it, love it. So let's start building and going from there. So we're gonna go into this. I'm gonna keep what I had in Lovable, and then keep going from there. Let's see. So let's keep building here for a second. Let's go here. Okay. So right now I'm going into build with me ideas. Okay, new features are available. Let's go and build this out. All right. So Data Button, if you have used Data Button before, if this is the first time you're using it, for the most part, if you see a lot of these different platforms, they are very similar, where you'll have a section where you can preview the app. There will be a way that you're chatting with the bot, and then you're going to be seeing ways to navigate the different pages. So what we have right here, we're building it out. Let's see. So open preview. So we have the build with me ideas, discover your perfect side hustle. And then we built out the front page, limited time, get started, and then going from here. So we have it to be we have dark mode and light mode. You can get started here. Get started takes you to my site if you want to free browse all side hustles, basic search and filtering. Just goes to my site here, get started. You have to sign in and then you can pay, or you can enterprise, you can contact sales. Okay, let's see. So we like this so far. Also like Data Buttons. I might change some of the wording and stuff. But we'll do that secondarily. Oh well, okay, let's change out some of the words. See, see. Now, right here on the left, on the right hand side, this is what's changed over time as we've been working on this. So it says, this is what the bot was saying. I've made the following changes to the pricing tiers, added a strike through price 97 in a muted color, added $47 for primary, limited time badge. Oh, it even flashes too. Okay, kept the original pricing for free and enterprise. Now the price is from 97 to 47. Okay, cool. We've already connected it to Firebase. So let's take a look at what we need to do. What did I like on this design? Mm, okay, so I'm going to say change the text on the homepage from to, let's take a look, like that. And what else I like? Browse directory, browse directory. Let's change that out. Oh, good morning from India. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for making us a part of your morning. Let me know if you have any questions. Hamant? Hopefully I'm saying it correctly. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. Great to see you. All right. Okay, so it's making changes right here. Okay, cool. And I'll change the rest if I want to later on. You see curated opportunities. Okay, that's fine. All right. Now, let's see what we need to do. So, I've added that. Let's sign in and try it out. Okay, so sign in to continue. It's not working. Let's see. See if it's. Oh, okay. So we have that dashboard. So the sign in looked like, okay, insufficient permissions. Okay, so we have Firebase error. We threw an error. I'm going to say refer to logs. Let's see what's going on here. Now we're going to see. Oh, love the content. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the support. Glad to help. Ask any questions. Okay, so it says this typically occurs when the Firebase security rules are too restrictive or not properly configured. So it's reading everything, and then it's saying, I see the issue. The code is trying to query the user access collection in Firestore, but the security rules are not likely set up to allow this. Checking front end code. So now it's running some things here. All right, so now it's looking for what we need to do. We've already connected Firebase, and we're looking at this. What are you making now? I just joined. Learning automation. I'm a no coder. Love to do AI stuff from all over the place in all the fields. Wonderful. Okay, so right now we're using a AI agent, so an IDE. So it's basically it's a development environment that uses agents, and we're building an application right now. And so we're testing out Firebase. We're testing out Data Button. It's a platform that allows you to build applications, and we're testing it out. We're seeing, excuse me, we're seeing if we can build out a micro SaaS. So if you've ever heard of something like, let's see, Cyber Leads. Yeah. So if you've heard of cyber leads, we're basically trying to create something similar to that, but for side hustles. Cyber leads has been around for a little while, but basically they give you leads where people have just raised money, startups, for you to try to, you know, pitch them on your services because you know they have money. Likewise, we're doing that the same, but we're having like a curated database to build it. Yeah. Unable to preview your app contains one or more errors. Okay. So let's take a look at this. I'm simplified the authentication to check the handling of the Fire store permissions. Here's what I changed. Remove the Firebase query causing the permission error. Would you like me to help set up the security rules? I'm going to say yes. All right. So it's going through this. And I've already connected. Um, we've already connected Firebase. We're going to check this out. Yeah, great question. And if you have any no code questions too, let me know. We have a couple new videos about Airtable and Make. We've also done a video about creating AI agents with Make. So that came out recently. Yep. These rules will allow users to read their own access records, allow users to read and write their own user documents. Would you like me to help you test authentication? Yes. Take a look. Okay, so on the other screen, I'm bringing up Firebase. And again, like I say, with a lot of these AI applications, they build front ends very, very quickly. And they're fun, definitely, to test out MVPs, but it still does take work to, go through setting up Firebase, things like that. And if you've never done it before, it can be very intimidating. So it just takes time, but the AI agent really helps you through it as you're doing this. So um, that's extremely helpful too. All right, let's take a look here. Let's take a look. Let me add some test functions, add Firebase actions. Okay, it's writing code right now. Okay, so let's see, it's added testing and debugging. Cool. Would you like me to help you test specific users, or would you like to make any adjustments in the error handling? Let's test a specific user. Okay. Let's see. I saw all those. Like I binge watched them by far. I'm building different Zapier make projects, but I want to provide the service and or earn out of it. Can you help me know how I go about it? Tell me more. Building different Zapier make projects. So there is one thing. So like, let me show you as this is working. So there's a site, and now I'm going to be announcing it next week. I'm the new project manager of low code engineers, and that's under an automation company called X-Ray. If you are a talented engineer and you have your certification for Airtable or Make or Zapier, you can apply to be an engineer, and we match you up with a company for you to get paid. So there's that option if you're talking about earning. The other option is too, if you're looking for clients and you're looking for opportunities to make money using automation, I would probably go on LinkedIn or Twitter and start searching what people are having trouble automating. They might be saying, "Oh, I have trouble with my email drafts, or I'm trying to automate something," or they might not even use the word automate. They might just say like, "I'm having trouble with Zoho. I'm having trouble with Airtable." And then you solve their problem and give them a video or give them tips of how to do it themselves. That is how I first started to find ways to start getting paid for automation and integration. Look for the pain point, look for what people already are using, and you're not using a lot of fancy words to show them like how much you know. You're just saying, hey, I have a solution. Let me send you a video how to solve it. And I mean, that's why this channel exists. But I mean, I do it to show other people, but really, this YouTube channel was for when I first got my first client. If anyone sees my first video, one of my early ones years ago, it was how to like integrate Zoom, and this was right before the pandemic. Someone had questions on it, and I charged them like $15 for them to get the video and for them to have one of my Google Docs. So if I'm looking for this, and please feel free to answer, put more questions in the chat. But I would really look at, if I'm trying to make money with solving problems and creating automation and all those things, look for problems and offer real help and give them the answer, and then afterwards see if it's a good relationship. But just solve it. You don't have to solve all of their problems, but if they're having a very small, if they're having a problem that you can solve in 15 minutes, just solve it for them, send them a video, and you will always be at the top of their list. And I did that for a number of years. And that's how I built out my clientele. And that's how we're working with tons of these companies. And now that's why I'm working with low code engineers, because I was a freelancer, I had an agency, but start small, solve one problem, but go from there. And if you have more questions, are you trying to get your first customer? Or are you trying to build out your agency? Please let me know. Let's see. Life with Sean says, what are your thoughts about a lead generation app for contractors that specialize in storm damage areas? I like it. I like it. Um, Lead generation. So I would like to know more information. So are you offering the lead generation app for contractors to use, or are you creating the lead generation app that has a brand, and then you're basically having contractors pay you to get access to all these people that are, getting in touch with you, right? So like if I was in Florida or Texas, am I creating like a lead generation app that allows you to look at like storm damage on your house, but you have to opt in for an email? You can use the app for free, but then I'm selling, their information to contractors to get in front of them. Let me know if that's what you mean. Let's see. I am I'm 12 path, only updated with new AI automation tools. Want to join your company if possible? Hey man, talk to me. We'll see what we can do. How to get my first customer? Yeah, I mean that first one, great question. How to get my first customer? Um, I would first start delivering value, start showing them what you can automate, and from there, that will allow you to build out your projects, your portfolio, to show how you can start helping people. Certifications with Airtable and Make, those are great, but solving real world problems, that's the most important thing. Yeah, yeah. I work at a company, but I'm really low level. They don't allow me to experiment at all. Yeah. So what I would do is on your time, like on your breaks or when you are on weekends, try to solve a problem where you're going to on LinkedIn. And if you're seeing something that's very common or the problem that you see over and over again, try to solve that. Yeah. Or look in the chat what people are having trouble with and just see if you can help them. Yeah. But Life with Sean, let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. I love the idea. But I would just think about, are you the top of funnel where you're attracting people that need it? Yeah, a subscription based app for contractors that tell them areas that were hit with major storms, breaking it down with type of weather events like hurricane. I like it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're getting contractors to pay for this kind of app. You're already basically aggregating all of that data. Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'd probably go like, what is this? Google Weather API forecast, air quality API. So something about environment. So I'd probably look at Google Maps, do something with I would probably do some research. Probably I'd go on ChatGPT. What are some open APIs, which just means like what are things that you can access to bring in what kind of data, and go from there. I might even, suggest even before I would go for the Google API, I would start trying to attract contractors and just say like, hey, I have a new application coming out for this kind of thing. Um, I'm going to charge X amount. Would you be interested? Even before I start building, I would test out if I have some traction. Yeah, right. So like, I mean, if you don't mind, like Fashawn, I mean, really, if you're doing this, let me do this real quick, right? So you're having that. Let's just go here for a second. So I mean, this is what I would do before I would even build it. I like the idea, but I would say this, right? I'm creating a new MVP application. The application is for contractors to know where major storms are hitting. I want to break down types of weather events like hurricanes and wildfires. Wildfires. Okay, look, right? Uh, and then what I would do is, just like we talked about before, um, create a prompt for this app to make an MVP, right? So I would probably just do this. Create an app. Create an app. Uh, let's see, for a AI agent or an ID. Right. All right. So here's a prompt. Real time alerts. Blah blah blah. Great. So I have that prompt. Let's go to dashboard. Let's go back to Lovable. All right. So I have this right here. Cut out the development notes. All right. So we put this in. It's building it out right now. It's already given me a name, Stormwatcher Guardian. Not a bad name. It's building out the breakdown here. And see, this is one of the things, especially with building things are going to be so fast now. It's going to be more about marketing and making sure that you have traction than spending tons of time, you know, really trying to make sure everything is perfect with these tools because creating these mock-ups are going to be so much easier. Going step by step with these things, it's important to understand, does your target audience have the willingness and the ability to pay you for the idea? And building it, you're going to be able to build this in a weekend or in a couple hours once you understand the basics. And that's why when we had this structure and why we're talking about like the three huge mistakes, if you follow this, you're saving tons of time and energy building these things out, but you still have to do research on your target audience. And before you spend time integrating it with Firebase and doing Stripe integrations, you can have a really good mock-up and then go from there. So that's what I would probably focus on, right? Let me know if that makes sense. But yeah, now it's going for a couple things. It's fixing an error. It's going to make it in a second, but this is in just a couple minutes that we're talking. Let me know if that makes sense. Huh. Wow. Okay. And so weather event tracker. Wow. It has a map box. Okay, cool. Wow. That's pretty awesome that I just made. Wow, wow, wow. Huh. Went in a different direction than I thought. But and then we just had to wait a couple seconds if it has the map or something like that. But you see, it just made this built out this thing. And then I could have it you know, I could send it to somebody and be like, "Hey, this is coming soon. Would you be interested? Um, I'm learning so much. This is great. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome." And so this is what I would have a link. I would not go any further. I might, when it generates the globe or whatever it's going to do, I would send it to people and be like, "Hey, I just created this new application. It's going to be ready in a couple of weeks. Um, would you be interested in being on this? It's going to be $20 a month, but the first 5 contractors that get on it, it's going to be $5 a month. $5 a month. You pay a yearly subscription right off the bat. Are you interested? Yes or no? If they say yes, hey, send them a Cash App link and see if they're actually going to pay you. Don't even try to do it on Stripe. Just see if they're even going to be willing to pay you. If they say no, oh, that's too expensive. Okay, then you go down the rabbit hole. Okay, what's going on? Why is it too expensive? You know what? I don't think what I need is not where the next storm is. I actually need X, Y, and Z for my contract, for my customers, or I'm still looking for leads. I need you to, generate leads. It's great that there's a hurricane going on. Can you generate all of the houses that have damage in that area? And I would pay for a list of all the houses that have potential damage. So how much would you pay for that list? Boom. You don't even really need an app at that point to be selling. You're selling information. You're selling a spreadsheet. Now you could later on make it pretty for them to log in and they get the dashboard and they can search. But you're just, oh, I can send you a list of 500 homes potentially in that area. Or he has their house information, who they are. I'll sell you the list. It's $50 a month. I just saved you. How much time does it take your VA or your assistant in the office to do it? Oh my goodness, it would take them a week and a half to give me. Look, how much is that worth? How much money did I just save you? How many leads did I just potentially make you? If you close one house over 500, how much did that just make you? I'm only charging you $50 for the list. Boom, right? So when we have all of these different new tools out here, go and try to sell something first before you go out and try to spend so much time and energy on these tools. It's intimidating and it's frightening because a lot of people, once they get to this point and they see, oh my God, it's so easy, it's so fast to build these MVPs, then the hurdle is not the technology, it's now going to sales. How can I approach people? How can I sell my services? How can I package my services for this to really work? Yeah, great. Glad this is helpful. Keep these questions coming. This is great. I love talking about business. I love talking about selling things. Okay, so let's take a look. We're building this thing right here. We're back in data button. It says add the auth test. It's doing it. Would you like me to test? Yes. We're going through this right now. It's writing some code for us. See what's going on here. So in the chat, where can I find this? Yeah, so it's AI agents for beginners. That's what we've been using throughout this. Take a look. It's free. It's all of our information we're talking about. So saying, I need to add the missing import for add doc. So it's writing code right now. And at this point, you're more of a manager. I'm not really building anything, right? I'm managing the project to get this done. So we're going through this. Yep. Checking front end code. Okay. So it's testing the process. Okay, so let's take a look here. So it says, okay, now we have a complete test set up. Here's how to test the specific user. Log into the app with your Firebase account. The auth panel will appear, your user details, create test access and test. Okay. First, create test access to create a test access. Okay, cool. So let's do this. Okay, I had to reload the page. Failed, fetch dynamically, blah blah blah. Let me say this here. You can find more information on the console. Okay. So let's go here. We have a question. So at this point, we can make any kinds of things in automation. So tell me what area, let's see, what area is a gap where I can work and provide them in service with automation, also new tools in the sector. Should I choose and how to market it? How do I market it? By the way, Dustin, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. If you haven't seen Dustin, go check out his channel. It's awesome. We also have a group show together. Great. Um, okay, so hold on one second. So we're getting an internal server error resolved. Import this one. That is strange. Let's see. We're getting an error. Refer to logs. I'm going to answer Hamet. Oh man, hopefully I'm saying it right. Hamet's question in 1 second. I think it's a really good question. I think it's a really good question. There is because the button component from it. Okay, so I'm saying the test panel. Where's the test panel located? Let's take a look here. Test panel is rendered at the top of the app page just before the login dialog. Currently, it's just floating at the bottom of the page. Let's improve it. Click sign in at the top right corner. Log into the account. So we're going to refresh it. Let's refresh the page. Let's open up a preview. Okay, so the dashboard here, we're going to have to do it in incognito mode real quick. No access for you. All right, let's try logging out. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Right here. Auth test panel. Very nice. Great. Click the sign in button. Okay. Log into it. Test panel will appear with user details. Create test access button. Okay. Okay. All right. Awesome. Okay. So it says click and sign in. Okay. Okay. So we did. We did that. Log into your account. The test panel will appear bottom corner. Your user details. Create test access button. Okay. Would you like to try logging in now? And can you help through the testing process? Okay. Access. All right. So we have this. Great. Let me put this information somewhere. Oh, so it's hey meant. Am I saying it right? Hey meant. Thank you for telling me how to say it correctly. Let me know if I'm saying it correctly now. Let me put that information there. Okay. Test access. Test completed. User does not have access. Okay. Okay. So now that I've done that, great. I'm going to tell them the test result. Chris, I'm working on it, man. I'm testing it. I appreciate it. I see the test result shows the user doesn't have access. Let's create the access. All right. So since the test shows you don't have access, click the Create Test Access button. This will create a test access document in Firestore with your user ID, access level Pro, a timestamp, flag marking it as a test document. After creating the access, click the test access again to verify that the access was created successfully. Let's go back. All right. Great. We just did it. We clicked it. There we go. After creating access, click test access. Great. Just did it. The test will show the results of the operation. Would you like to try creating the test access now? Already did it. Boom. Even added a picture right here. Right here. That's done. Life is good. Added that bad boy. Let's move on here. Yes. All right. So it's reading logs. I see from the screenshot you've logged in, but I don't have access. Red logs. Okay. Yeah, I just did that. Okay. It's saying let me modify the create test access function to add more logging, simplify the document creation, writing code. Let me modify the create test access function to add more logging. Okay, I've simplified the test access document creation by removing the extra fields that might be causing the issues, adding more logging to track what's happening, simplifying the document check query. Now, please try these steps. Create test access again. Wait for the result. Wait for the result message. Then click test access to verify. Okay. Says create test access. Okay. And we have that. Test completed. User does not have access. Okay. Let's check something real quick. I'm going to go into Firebase for a second. Doing this on the other screen real quick. Doc Williams. Uh-huh. All right. I'm looking in Firebase. I'm on the other screen right now looking at this. Okay. Okay. Putting in what's happening right here. So right now what I'm doing is I'm getting the same error, right? It's the same exact error. So I'm putting in the error here. Here is the result. So it's checking the logs and it's seeing what it's doing. Okay. So as that is happening, so hey Ment asked the question, right? So the question is, you're trying to get into automation. You're trying to identify what is the gap in the industry for you to provide a service in. How would you go about doing this? Okay, right? So if you're having trouble deciding on how to offer your services, how to market your services, all of those different things, this is what I would do. Go into ChatGPT. I would say, I am learning how to use automation and emerging technology. I am new to the field and I am trying to figure out how to market my skills and to get my first customer. What are the right platforms on social media that I should look for to find my first customer? And how should I build my portfolio to show customers what I can do? Right. So I literally would just put it into ChatGPT and I would start building out plans from there. Right. So it mentions, see, it mentions LinkedIn, talks about Facebook groups, right? But right here, the purpose of this is it start breaking down how to optimize your profile, share a post showcasing what you're learning, tips and mini projects. Again, that's what I would be looking for. Reach out to small businesses or professionals in need of automation solutions. I would look at the websites. I'd look at which ones look really old or ones that don't have like contact me or don't have chatbots. And I would just say, what do you need help with? And I would really approach step by step from this, right? I'm going to copy and paste this and put it in the chat. But I would look at this first again. Look at who needs help. Start systematically telling people, hey, this is a new venture that I'm working on. I'm just getting started in this. I'm not a expert, but I want to help people. What should I need to do next? And I'm going to put this all in the chat right here. It didn't have everything. All right, let me put the URL. Can I do a URL? Can I just share this? I think this works, right? Can I just share this thing? Let me check it in incognito mode. Checking. I'll just put in my Notion doc. Um, let's just put it under how to find new page. How to find your first customer. Let me just copy over what was in this. So if you have the guide and you download it, you'll get all this. Yep. All those different things. Or again, you just saw me how I did it in ChatGPT. You can just make it custom to what you need help with. Yeah. Link is down below. Grab the guide, all the things we're talking about. Like always, it's in the free guide. It'll just be down below. Great question. All right, let's take a look. Saying that it improved it. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to refresh this bad boy just to see. Okay, we're going to go step by step. Create test access. Okay. Oh, get that out of there. Move this thing. I have too many reminders. There we go. Okay. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a brand new account. Let's see about this for a second. I'm going to first, for a second, I'm going to clear my caching. I'm going to clear my browsing history real quick and see if it's a caching problem. Let's make it advanced. Let's change it. Last 24 hours for it, or let's just make it a very specific page. Yeah, let's just cache it out for 7 days. All right, we're going to see if we're going to do something better. Okay, so what we're doing, if you're just joining, we're using data button. I'm trying to log in, which is fine, but it's looking like we're having some issues. So I'm clearing the cache and everything and seeing if this is going to help. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but we're going to start this again. And we're going to come back in. All right, so let's log in to data button. How to find new customers. Yeah. Again, it's the same way to find local businesses. Or go on Fiverr or Upwork and check out what are common gigs that people are charging for. Yeah. See. Okay, now we're going to jump back in. All right, let's get started. Okay. So, all right. So what we have here, open preview. We can sign in, but this time what we're going to do is, yeah, we're going to sign in. But I'm going to see, can I just do it with Google and see if that's going to work? I'm seeing if the SSO will work. Let's see what it's going to do. Let's see. Okay, sign in to continue. Okay, so I'm getting an error here. Sign in to continue. Now look at this. Current user. Email. Email verified. Yes. No tests run yet. Let's create test access. Now let's test access. So this is different now. So we do have verification, but test completed user does not have access. So this did work for clearing the cache. Something else, we got a different error, which is fine. I'll take that. So I'm going to say check log and look at screenshot. Check log. Oh no, not disturbing me. This is great stuff. Check log and refer to attached image. Yes, that is Spider-Man also. Yeah. Yes, I do have a Spider-Man light behind me, and I have a Game Boy game and all of those things. Good eye. Let's see. Okay, so it says, let's see. It says, I see the issue. When we get a permission denied error, the code is redirecting to the Stripe checkout instead of handling it properly for test access creation. Let me modify the error handling. Okay. So because I already have Stripe connected, what it's trying to do is take you to the Stripe checkout page for you to pay to go to the backend. And so now it's finding the error right there because we've already integrated Stripe to it. Okay, great. Now it says instead of trying to access Firestore directly, which is causing the permission errors, we're now using the Brain API endpoints to create test access by creating a test side hustle. Test access by trying to list side hustles. This would work around the Firestore permission issue since the API endpoints handle the database access properly. So let's create the test access, wait for the result, then click test access. Great. All right. Now we have something here. Test completed, user has access. Great. All right, we'll take that. So now we have access. Great. See attached image. Test reported, test completed. User has access. Okay, awesome. Great. And so some of those things happen. We did it. This is great. The test shows that the user now has access. Since you're logged in and have access, you should be able to see the dashboard button in the header navigate section. So take a look. Dashboard here. We do. We do. Okay. Just click the dashboard to the page. So I did. And then I can say I can click the dashboard button, but but I cannot navigate to a page. To the main page with the side hustles. Okay, cool. Navigate. Okay, cool. Okay, so we're making through it. We're making progress through it. So it's saying, let me check the main page if the main page exists. I see that the main page exists. Let me check its content. I see the issue. The main page is trying to fetch data directly from Firebase, but we need to use the API instead. Okay, cool. And the main page is probably this one, but it's not generating. Oh, look at that. The main page is here. Huh. It's doing its thing. It's trying to figure out right now. Okay. Great things. It's writing the code for us. Okay, so it's doing that as it's working. Now, let's see. I've had several important changes, updated the side hustle fetching to use, okay, updated the favorites functionality. Now try clicking the dashboard again. Let's refresh this. I'm going to refresh this. Okay, I've already signed in before, but okay, let's just do it from scratch. Let's sign in. It's thinking for a moment. It's handling the auth. Let's take a look here. Okay. Let's see, so filtering is wrong there. Interesting. So it's not navigating. See, we're seeing, okay, we're seeing dashboard. Dashboard is there now. Okay, so we're in. So it took a minute to go, but now we're having this. I'm wondering if we need it to navigate because I'm seeing homepage and main page. I'm also seeing side hustle details. I'm going to put in, I'm going to add a new chat, new thread. Create a new page that has a home page once a user is logged in to explore opportunities for side hustles and online businesses. And I'm going to say, create the page called Homepage Alpha. I'm probably going to have to change it. I'm going to say Side Hustle Alpha. That way, I think it's getting confused on the page names, perhaps. Perhaps. We'll see. Show thoughts. I'll create a new page called Side Hustle Alpha with a modern dark theme interface for exploring side hustle opportunities. Would you like me to proceed with creating this page? Excuse me. I'm going to say yes. Okay. It's thinking about its life. I will proceed by creating the side hustle page. Okay, great. It's writing the code right now, which is awesome. Okay. To answer your question about as this is working and we're waiting for the response over here, it's writing the code. So we got to just wait as it's writing the code. If I was just getting started and I was trying to find a client and I know a little bit about automation, I'm not a professional yet, but I want to get into it, I'd probably go on Fiverr or Upwork. Number one, I would just type in Zapier or Make. I'm going to say Zapier because I think it's easier. I'm going to look at what's going on and how people are making money right now, right? I provide Zapier or Zendesk related services. That's interesting because Zendesk is very specific. It's a certain platform, so that might give me some ideas. I also see I will help set up or fix Zapier integrations, right? I would look at what these different freelancers are doing, their packages, how much they're charging, look at their different examples of what they've been able to do, why people are paying them, what platforms they use, the automation types, and I would start building a project or solving one of those things at a time. Is it paid? Yeah. Well, Fiverr, you get paid to do this, but you can look this up for free. Yeah, I would start looking at this. Look at the reviews, why people are paying, what they really like about what they received, right? So I can see right here, um, my go-to for any Zendesk related queries. Impressed with her code expertise and professionalism, exceeded my expectations. I would look at all the reviews and look at why do people choose this freelancer. I would probably think about how I could do something similar and then go and offer my services on Fiverr and Upwork. Every Facebook group, I would go to a Zendesk Facebook group and offer my services. And if I'm just getting started, I am again presenting myself not as an expert, but I'm saying, hey, I'm new at this, but I want to help and go from there. That's what I would do to get my first client. Okay. So right here, it's saying I've created the side hustle page. Would you like me to deploy the app so that you can see it in action? The page includes a search bar, a responsive grid of side hustle cards, and displays key information. I'm going to say yes. Yep, I would start there. Services, when you're helping people, I believe that is the best way to get your first client. Just look for ways to help for sure. See, I've deployed the app with this new Side Hustle Alpha page. You can now access it in your app URL. Okay, take a look. Maybe it's thinking about its life. I see it's moving. I see that. I'm seeing that there's an error. Okay, build for deployment started. So I just got to see how long it's taking. Say refer to log. Data button versus Bolt. There actually might be a video coming out about that. Might be a video coming out. Lloyd failed. Let's see. Okay, so I can see it right here, which is pretty nice. Okay. Data button. Okay, so we did that one, and then Bolt dot new. Is it Bolt dot new? Yikes! That's loud in my ear. Bolt. Let's see about this. I did Bolt dot new. Okay. So I work on Bolt often. Is data button better? Okay. So the question is Bolt versus data button. Which one is better? This really comes down to a couple different things. Number one, key features. What are you trying to build? And yeah, I would start there. And pricing too. So we're going to look at key features, what you're trying to build, and pricing. And then I'll tell you which one I would use. So, Data Button is going to allow you to build out applications using an IDE similar to Bolt. Now, what are the main differences that I'd be looking at? Well, it depends on how it's built and what you want it to be built out of right now. A lot of these platforms are changing very, very quickly. So, it depends on how you plan to use it and what are your requirements. Are you building this as an MVP? Or do you need to use a very specific tech stack and all of those things? That being aside, Bolt is very good and it looks very good because it's going to be using more of a React front end, and I believe, and the way that it's constructed in the back end, you can do a couple different things with the back end. Data button also allows you to use React on the front end and Python, and you're going to be using a choice of your backends, but they prefer you to use Firebase, or it's easy to integrate with Firebase, but you can also do Superbase. Bolt just has a new integration where you can use Superbase a lot easier with Bolt. What are the downsides of these platforms? It really depends on what you're trying to build. All of these platforms have pros and cons and limitations. If you're looking to create a high powered application that needs a lot of um, it needs a lot of specificity in the backend. You got to do a lot of things with the backend. So to make the application smart, you're probably going to need to use Bolt and then put it into Windsurf or something like it to make it high powered. With Data Button, the team, you can be using Firebase or whatever you want to do. But again, it depends on what you're trying to build. Data Button has a lot of interesting use cases that people have built for their businesses, doing 3D model rendering for their businesses, creating a Twitch platform that is basically Twitch. They've done a lot of different things, and you can take a look at some of the different advantages. With Bolt, I think the look and feel and how easy it is and magical, a lot of people get addicted to it. You run out of a lot of credit, tokens quickly, but because it's the end of the year, they're having like 2 million free tokens right now to start building to really encourage people to start using it and sticking with it as it's growing very fast. Again, both are very limited. What are more high powered applications? If I was going to be building out something, I'd probably be looking at Replit with Replit agents, or I would be using Windsurf by I think it's Codium, and I would be doing that. Now I've seen a lot of people move incredibly fast using Bolt and integrating Superbase, and then um, they just take their code and put it into Windsurf to scale their application. I see that a lot. We're going to have a video coming up soon on some people of how they're building very quickly in Bolt, and then when they're hitting constraints, using Windsurf afterwards. Some people use Windsurf from the beginning, but because Bolt and Lovable have such a magical experience, a lot of people are using Bolt first. They're getting to what they need, and then they're scaling in Windsurf. The other one, which might be just too much information, is why would you use Lovable? Maybe Lovable versus Bolt. And if people want that conversation, I can have that as well. But I would say Bolt and Lovable are very similar. The team at Lovable keeps dropping all of these new features day after day into December. They're moving very fast. That being said, all of these tools are moving incredibly fast. So it's more important to have the idea and testing the market and getting to profitability than really feeling like you have to stick to one platform or the other. Right now, they're moving so fast and things are changing so fast in AI. It's important not to be paralyzed of like, I've got to pick the right platform first. If you understand the fundamentals of what your prompts should be structured as, what you need help with, and then being able to scale and go from there. That's a lot more important than trying to decide right now, like, I have to stay with one or the other. There are a lot of people, and there are advantages with going with Replit first because the way their ecosystem works, the infrastructure, Replit's been around for a lot longer in this kind of space or what they're trying to do. So they can move in a certain way, but there are some caveats. Their front end right now, in time, when they start using React and other things, It will look a lot better. And when you're using different CSS libraries, but out of the box, um, Data Button, Bolt, and Lovable look a lot better. That's not the end all be all, but that's just something to consider when you're trying to, scale very quickly or look at some of these tools. Um, but again, I would focus on, do you have an audience that is willing to pay for your idea versus I have to deep dive and do all these things right now with these platforms because they are making it an incredibly easy process over and over again to build and to move fast in this space. Um, I would consider that. The last thing is, we'll go back to it. What I would be looking at is for Data Button versus Bolt. I would just take a look at pricing, right? So if I'm looking at pricing for Data Button starts at $20. It's the 75 credits. One credit equals one AI code generation. Good for testing ideas. The launch is 200 credits. I'm on the launch plan right here. If we're looking at Bolt, let me log into Bolt real quick. Okay, can I look at subscriptions? All right. So 10 million tokens, $20. I would look at how the tokens are used and making sure I understand articulation of how they are. 26 million tokens for Pro, and then 55 for 100 for a Lovable. And if you've been paying attention of how much the pricing has changed for all of these platforms, by no means is this stable. People are changing their price by 50%. Like Windsurf was $10 a month. Now it's $15 a month. Yeah, Sean's asking why not Cursor? Windsurf during versus Cursor. Great question. Great question. If I was going to go with Cursor, again, what are my functionality that I want? Sean brings up a great question. Why not Cursor? I think Cursor and Windsurf are pretty similar. For me, it comes down to my workflow and what I've liked. I've liked Windsurf over Cursor, just the workflow of how I'm using it and all those things. Great question. Windsurf, I think, is closer to Cursor if I'm going to go head to head with that. I just prefer Windsurf. If there's a very specific functionality I'm looking for, I might, again, that's something that I'd look at if I'm trying to, decide between the two. Again, I'd look at what's going on if I had to do pricing, matching, or something like that. I've just enjoyed using Windsurf more. And then the other thing is, depending on what I'm building and how fast, if I'm comparing what I've enjoyed of like the other tier ones or the quicker ones that does not have the functionality at the level of a Cursor or Windsurf, I'm really impressed by Lovable and how fast that they're making changes. Bolt is another one that I really like, and Data Button. I've just really enjoyed how quick and what I've done with Lovable. Between that and Bolt now has the integration with Superbase. And so that would, now it's more on a playing field with Lovable, I feel like. But if I'm gonna make it more high powered, like let's go like even bigger, right? So if I'm gonna go Cursor versus Windsurf, this is just my personal preference. The interface and my workflow, I like Windsurf. If I was going to go full stack and I'm trying to bet on a platform between a Windsurf, a Cursor, or Replit, I would probably go with Replit because I prefer using Replit because I can go for the scalability, doing it on the go if I want to do it on my phone or anything like that. I think that's puts Replit ahead if just because if I'm coding on the go and I want to make changes and be able to preview those kind of things, and it's very easy to deploy. Cursor and Windsurf are also easy to deploy. I find Replit, their ecosystem, what I'm going to be doing, all of those things a little bit easier, but I'm splitting hairs at that point. You know what I'm saying? I think all of these are still miles ahead of even the last 12 to 18 months of where it's been at, like how fast it takes, or, connecting it to GitHub and deploying it, what I'm going to use on Netlify or whatever I'm going to be using, still night and day comparison. Yeah, Sean, great questions. And that's why we're having tons of videos coming out. We're having people that love to use windsurf, people that love to use um, Bolt next week that are going to be on the channel. I would say there's no right or wrong, and I'm not picking really a set one. It's like when I'm always talking about no code tools, when I'm talking about Flutter Flow or others, Make, Zapier. It kind of just depends on what are you trying to build, what are you comfortable with building on, why do you like it, how can you make money, and then going from there. Yeah, great questions. If you want to see more in depth, I think we're releasing videos of like Bolt versus Data Button, and we'll be doing Windsurf versus Cursor and stuff like that, and Replit versus the world, all those things. I'm getting someone's DMing me asking me. Well, this is fine. DMs are cool with me. Someone's asking, can now that we're talking about Data Button, can you show doing this with Lovable? Thanks so much. Okay, yeah, we can do this. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we've shown Replit a couple times. If you check out the channel, we've been talking about them quite a bit. Someone asked me, can I drop the link? Yeah. If you're watching on Twitter, if you're watching on Twitch, LinkedIn, whatever you're watching it on, thank you so much for supporting this late night stream. Let's take a look. Let's try to do the same thing in Lovable and see what we got and see how far we can get. We're gonna probably use Lovable and Supabase. Yeah, we'll probably use Lovable and Supabase on this one. See how far we can get. All right, let's do it. All right. So, and let me know. Does that make sense? I just joined, but could you please elaborate a little bit on what's the preferred platform for iOS dev? Oh, yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries. Thanks so much for being here, Sean. Okay. This is an interesting question. This is an interesting question. So, iOS dev. Okay. So, depends on the functionality you're looking for. So, are you looking for an ID like agent, like using one of these platforms to create a iOS app, or can I use no code tools as well? That's the question. Um, okay, so and the reason there's a reason why I'm saying this. Hold on one second. Let's talk about a couple things, right? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay, so if I'm going to try to create, let's go here. Okay. So if I'm trying to preferred platform for an iOS development platform, right? Depends if I'm going to be going with like I'm going to be using like AI, or can I use any platform to create like an iOS application? It depends on, like, first of all, what is the application I'm trying to build? All of those things first, and then I'm deciding on, do I want to do everything using like AI assistants and AI agents and going through that process, or do I want to use a no code platform and then utilize AI with it? A couple of my friends, they're building out and using Xcode, and they're using these types of applications to code and just use AI to build out the Xcode. That's one way. If I'm going to be building out a native first experience, an application that I want full control, do all of these things, I still probably would go with Flutterflow, because the AI product suite or products that they're adding into Flutterflow are so good. If I'm really, really trying to build out and have a full control and do all these things, I'd probably still go with Flutterflow at this time. Um, I can connect it and integrate it with OpenAI. I can do all of these different things. I can scale. I can move so much quicker. And how pretty it looks. If I am trying to build an application that needs to go into the App Store, I would still probably use Flutterflow. That being the case, if I already have a coding background, excuse me, and I want to have more control and I need just an assistant, I might use a AI agent or an IDE environment as I'm building out Xcode. So that kind of depends on the difference of, do you want to build more visually first and then be able to touch the code when you need to? Or if you're already seasoned, you know how to use Xcode and you just need something like this. That would be my that would be where I would go right now. If I'm trying to create more web-based, mobile optimized applications, I would probably look into creating it with a mock-up with an IDE or something with an AI agent at this time. If I'm trying to create an internal application where it's a client portal or a very basic MVP, I'd probably use still a no-code tool, then utilize AI with it, something like software or something like that. Yes. So are you suggesting Flutterflow, right? Yes, Sean. That was a long answer, but yes, I'd probably check out Flutterflow. And this channel has tons of stuff about Flutterflow, all those different things. Great question. Great question. Yeah. All right. Let's take a look, and we're going to build with Lovable for a moment. We're going to open this up, and oh, I haven't logged into everything again. I told you when I cleared my cache, I totally forgot. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this. Okay, so this is the MVP. Let's build it. Let's cut that out. I'm going to copy this. Okay, so first I'm copying the prompt. Let's see. I'm going to cut out how to do the deployment. I'm not going to say, there we go. Okay, so I have all of that. Now what I'm going to do is, let me go into Notion real quick and look at my notes. Oh my goodness, I had to sign into everything again. How annoying. Let me just log in real quick. Thank you. Okay, let me go into my notes. AI agents. Let's see where my, there we go. Huge mistakes. Okay, now I'm going to say, can you create a product requirement document off of this? Let's do it. Okay, so I'm writing out all this stuff first. Okay, here's your PRD. Okay, cool. Product requirement doc. It's writing that right now. Once it's done, we're going to drop it in here. Let me sign in. Let me, I think this might be my Google account, maybe. Cool. Okay. This is just chat writing out my document, my product requirement document. I'm going to just copy it. I might cut out the development section. No, yeah. So I'm gonna only do the top four. Okay, so it's gonna do overview, target audience, features, design requirements. That's it. I'll leave the technical requirements out. Okay. Let's do that. All right, all right. Let's take a look. Let me know in the chat who's using Lovable too. We're switching over to a Red Bull. Okay. All right, we're seeing this come together real quick. It's nice. All right, let's see. It's creating right now. Ooh, that's cool. The colors are crazy. All right. Unlock your potential master side hustles today. Discover your curated side hustle opportunities and learn step by step. Learn step by step how to succeed with detailed guides. I like that. Let's change the colors. Like that. Please change colors to something like this. Review screenshot attached. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about a website that I like. Let's see. We talked about Fiverr. Let's take a look if we like this color or it's too. Let's see about the color scheme. It's green, but it's nothing crazy like that. I like this. Let me change it. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to here. Okay, I'm going to add a picture and see what it comes up with after looking at. And I'm going to say, please look at the color scheme and font types. There we go. See attached. All right, so it's going to look at this for a second. It's going to go to Tailwind, so the look and feel of it. It's changing the CSS files. Let's look at that. Okay, it's working now. Let's see. Okay, it's changing it to a darker green. Ooh, I like that. Let me know, chat. I like this. Yeah, a lot better. Okay. I like that. Okay, so the directory, so we have the front page. Okay, great. Let's go with that. Great. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to my MVP to make sure we have all these different pages. So we have the home page right here. Let's create a directory page. So I'm going to literally go back into my guide right here. Great. Now let's build I'm just copying and pasting the directory page. And then I'm going to say the directory page has the following features and information. Okay, so it has all that. So we're going to go there. Let me know if this is helpful as we're going through this. Is this helpful as we're walking through step by step? So it says, I'll help create the directory page with all the requested features, including responsive layout with search bar, filtered panel, and hustle cards. All right. Let's take a look. It's going to the source pages. Okay. Edited 2 files. I've created a fully functional directory page. Okay. Let's see directory. Okay. So it has the directory page right here. Great. Side hustles go back here. Great. Right here. Okay. So hustle right there. Okay. So we have the directory page, which is awesome. The pricing, which is fun. Okay. Next up, let's go to SOP details page. So, let's see this SOP details page. So I'm going to do the same exact thing. So I'm going to say, great. Now let's build the see right here. So I'm going to copy this over here, bring it down. I'm going to say the SOP details page. SOP details page. Let's see. Overview video. Checklist for tracking completed steps. Ooh. Um hmm, that's tough. I'm just going to say tab section overview, video. Downloads is fine. Tracking checklist for tracking completed steps. I don't think I'm going to have that. But what I'm going to say, each side hustle has a details page. Has a SOP details page. Okay. Let me know if you can see this or if you want me to zoom in on what I'm typing on, like how I'm typing. Okay. Ah, you're on a roll today. So right there, we hit our limit, your free messaging limit today. So what do we have to do? Upgrade to starter. What's our daily limit? Our limit monthly is $120 a month. Hmm. Not bad. Not bad. So this is how far we can get with Lovable, and it's free. It's still just like we showed before. If we're going to do a application to show people how far we can get, or before we sell something, again, this gives us a good mock-up to go from here to test. Hey, will anyone pay for this? Would you pay for a directory with SOPs of how to create your side hustle? Like I could do that for the audience right now. Hey, we're building this right now. You just see what we did with an with the with this. Is this something interested in the community right now? Should I pay for this? And should I charge people to have access to all these side hustles that I have? I already have all the side hustles from a Notion doc, and I would add more. I would add SOPs. Do you think I should do this? In the chat, let me know. Right? I already have this for free. 50 high profit side hustles. I've already talked about it. I've done it for years. Should I add on to this, but now build it in another environment and start selling it? And now not only would you have all the ideas, but selling the SOPs, how I would get started today. Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. I can't add things to the chat right now, which is sad. But if anyone wants this, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll send it. But that's see, this is how you would go with the marketing idea of should you go and pursue something. If I'm hitting a max of using using Lovable and I really like it, people are like, yeah, this looks great. I want this. Great. Now I can go and test the market and see if this is right. Let me know if that makes sense, right? So I can even send out the link or I can say, hey, this is what's happening. This is what I'm trying to build. Would you be interested? Get a free trial. I'm going to be building this out every single month. You're going to be able to see what I'm doing in real time. Or is it something else? Just like in the audience tonight, I'm seeing a lot of people are like, how do I find my first customer? What if I just provided a resource to find your first customer or to have step by step scripts for you to learn how to use ChatGPT to prompt the right kind of email, cold outreach, or to talk to people, or to have feedback sessions, how you get your first customer. Would you be interested in that? Right? Those are the things that when you're testing out and using these different AI tools will really help you get get a leg up and go from there. I'm going to try it one more time. I'm going to build this probably using Bolt. And if people want me to use Windsurf and Cursor, I can. But let's try this one more time. So we've built this in Data Button today, and we'll find out what's going on with a couple of errors that we're having, which is okay. Um, we just did Unlovable. We hit a threshold. With Bolt, they're giving out so much free credits. We can go and try to figure that out too. Now it says 10 million tokens for $20 a month. I would really like to know, um, like how much these tokens are and what kind of actions, right? Let me see the status thing. All pro users get 2 million free tokens. All users get 200,000 daily and 2 million monthly for free. So weird. That's interesting. Um, but yeah, let's try to build this out real quick in Bolt because we have all of these free tokens all of a sudden and see what we can build. See, I really want to know what this. Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah, we'll talk about it later. Okay, cool. I'm gonna take a picture of this. Okay, let's try to build it in Bolt and see what happens here. If you have questions, let me know in the chat down below. If this is helpful, what's going on, all those things. Okay, so let's do this thing. Let's build this. This. Copy over this. Okay. And I think I have notes on this as well. Let's take a look. Let's build this with, let's see, Bolt. Um, Hold on one second. Let's do this. Hold on. Sorry about that. Okay, let's see about this real quick. Um, oh, can you hear me? Can everyone hear me? Sure. Settings. Okay, I'm back. All right, so let's take a look. Okay, so we did that. All right, Bolt's got that right here. Okay, great. Product here. We'll just start there. Let's just start here. Okay, so it's saying my tokens right here. I just lost 3,000 tokens right there. I gotta check what this means. Like, how does it construct how many tokens? Like, you know what I'm saying? So we're seeing it build it out for a second. So we see a code and then we can see the preview when it's done to. All right, it's adding tailwind and everything. Very fine. I must have done that in the design. Make it green. I gotta change that green. It's making me stressed. Let's see. All right, so we have this. How many tokens are we at? Okay, so it said I've created the initial setup for the blueprint, components, design functions, content, added simple trending side hustles, created call to action, implemented authentication, create the full directory. Okay, so it's now running. You'll see a professional looking landing page with a hero section. The next steps would be implement authentication. So we can connect Superbase, create the full directory page with search and filters, add SOP detail pages, integrate a payment system. What would you like me to implement any of these next features? Okay, great. So we have that. First, what we're going to do is change the format of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use what we just built in continue with Stack Blitz. Use, you must log in existing account. Okay, I think I already did this, but let me sign in. I'm going to use what we built over here, and we're going to use it for bolts. Let me just sign up real quick. I could have swore I was already signed in. Right? Personal plan right here. Let me just see. Attach. Let me see if I can do this. Right here. Biz Tech Radio. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. Having trouble. Why am I not signing in? By using Bolt, you agree to the collection of usage data for analytics. Yes. Um, why do I have to have a? Let me see if I can just sign into Bolt's. Look, I already have a Bolt's account. It looks like. Oh man, I forgot I had a Stack Blitz account almost like a year ago. Huh? Totally forgot. All right, let's refresh this bad boy. No, it already says I have it. So refer to attached image for color scheme changes and font changes. Viz Tech Radio, thank you so much for being here. Let us know. Oh, first of all, yeah, and thank you for being here. Let us know if we can do anything for you. Appreciate you. Or sign in. I don't know why I can't sign in. Ugh. All right. It's not the worst thing in the world. Let's create number 2. So I can't attach things unless I log in. It's kind of weird. I can do all these other things. I'll just go with this. See what it's doing right here. All right, let's take a look at what it does. Okay. Okay, so let's see what it did. I've created a module directory page for the following components. Okay. See the other pages then. Separate data files, responsive. The directory is now accessible slash. Would you like me to add navigation between pages? Yes. All right. Okay, so side hustle blueprints, directory page. Okay, it's not bad. I'll take it. All right. Browse side hustles. Okay. Let's see. The site now has consistent navigation, better organized code. Would you like me to add any additional features or make any adjustments? Let's remove the free trial button. Let's remove, let's just say remove start free trial. Well, let's just leave it for now. Let's just leave it for now. All right. Let's do browse side hustles and then the directory button. So I should say, I want to say, have the browse side hustle button navigate to the directory page. 1,600 times a day. Hey, thanks so much for being here. Appreciate you. Great to see you. Thank you for the support of the stream. Okay, so updated the hero section. Now we can go to directory. Cool. Okay, next one is we want the, let's take a look at it. We want the different pages for the learn more to go to different pages, right? So let's go back here. Roll back to checkpoint. Oh, interesting. Let's go back here. Created all this. Now, if you look at it, I'm going to just copy this. Use notes real quick. I'm going to go to my AI page. I'm just going to add just notes. So let's go back here. All right, so we created the full directory page. Add SOP pages. Let's do that. I'm going to move that out of here. I have way too many pages. Now let's, here we go. I really like this design. I really do. Let's take a look. So what I'm doing here is I just for a quick reference, I'm just going back and forth. I'm sure there's tons of better ways to do it, but just as I'm building it, I can just have it a quick reference right there. Okay, let's take a look. Interesting. Ooh, very nice, very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, so when you go to like learn media management, okay, let's go back. Started for at least one of the pages. See, new types contains sample SOP. Okay. One detailed SOP, but the structure is ready to accommodate more SOPs. Design follows establish. Okay, great. So let's see, let's take a look. So it did it for one, which isn't bad. I'm going to say, great. Can you add, let's see, detailed SOP for all sample content. Let's do that. See what happens. I like those pages. I like those pages. Very simple. Adding a video and everything, I can always do that later. Oh, you know what I'll say? I'm probably going to need to add an admin for sure. Cool. Okay. Let's bring that up. So we already did this. Done. I could do this as just a checklist, I guess. turn it into a to-do list. Okay, create directory. We're almost done with this one too. Okay, let's see if it does it. Let's see what it does. I've created SOPs for all 5 side hustles. Okay, cool. All learn more buttons are now correctly linked to respective SOP pages. All right, let's see about this. Home. Hmm. I don't see that. So I need them. I'm going to say only content writing fundamentals appears to be connected to. Let me look at the code. Let's see. Let me see. And going back. Hold on one second. Mm-hmm. Let me do this. Okay. And then the SOP right there. So right now I'm just looking at basic, the structure of what's going on, the source. This isn't, if you're using Windsurf or another platform, you could also too. I haven't done it in Bolt. You could always chat with the code and see what's going on here, or you can say, "Please explain to me what this is," and then you can, of course, that might be better. Let's see. So only content writing appears to be connected to the SOP details page. Information. Please check all subjects are connected to the right page. Okay, so I'm just doing some light checking here, seeing what's going on here. And again, if you're using Windsurf or something like that, and if you're like this, I don't want to look at anything with code. It really depends on you, right? Depends on what's going on with your comfortability. If you've ever seen code before, um, and for me, I'm slightly familiar with things, right? So now I can just be a little bit more specific, and then go from there, right? And doesn't mean it's going to work all the time. It's just going to help me to be a little bit more specific if I want to see what's going on, things like that. Let's see. Okay. Directory here. Okay, we have that. Okay. So we have that. That's good basic section here. All right. We're going to say add detail page. Now what we're going to do is implement authentication. Let's take a look. So we're probably going to add Superbase to this, most likely. You have hit your rate limit. See, upgrade to keep chatting. So we hit our rate limit right there. And so then that takes us to like the pro, which is uh, 10 million tokens. Again, I would love to know at these levels, where are we when you're hitting them? Like, why is there so many different tokens at this level? Or why does it spend this much? The one thing I do like about Replit is it's showing me as I'm building something out, how many cents I'm using, all of those things. That's extremely helpful. So again, this helps you to kind of get through and design these different things um, with purpose and see what do you need to build, how can you build it, what's going on. I think in the next couple of months, the pricing will drastically drop, just like how it dropped for ChatGPT and all of these things. It's going to be all of these things are going on, and people are building very, very quickly. But when you build with intention, you know what you want to build for your audience, you're getting some kind of traction. That is the most important thing. So, if you're interested to learn more about these tools, or just like the chat, some people are asking about how do you validate and get leads? How do you start, targeting an audience and look for opportunities to selling your services? Any of those things, let me know in the chat. And if you like these kind of videos, make sure that you like and subscribe. We do this every single week. We're going to be coming out with videos about bolts and tons of other things coming up in the next couple of days. And again, we appreciate all the support and everyone dropping in during the stream. If you have any questions for me, let me know. I will see you later this week. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Bye bye, everybody.